If you know these 15 words, your English is outstanding. And these 15 words are binomial pairs. A binomial pair is two words that are connected by a conjunction, usually and or. Now, a binomial pair is used as a fixed expression and the word order is also fixed. So let's see if you know these 15 binomial pairs. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. You're going to learn these binomial pairs as a quiz. You'll see a sentence on the screen with a blank. You need to complete the binomial pair in 5 seconds. Are you ready? Question 1. Thankfully, the speech wasn't long. It was short and... It was short and sweet. Did you get this one? Short and sweet. Notice that pronunciation. We take that and, but we just pronounce it short and sweet, short and sweet. So you pronounce it like one word. This means concise. So without unnecessary details. Note that this binomial pair is used positively. For example, in meetings, the meeting was short and sweet, so we had time to grab a coffee. Or someone might say before a discussion, conversation, meeting, let's keep this short and sweet. Don't worry about taking notes because I summarize everything in a free lesson PDF. You can find the link in the description. Now let's listen to some real-world examples.
So that's it, short and sweet for me.
Keep it short and sweet. Okay?
I'm going to make this short and sweet. But seriously, Ellen, congratulations on the 20th anniversary of announcing to the world who you really are.
Question 2. She put her and soul into writing her first book. The binomial pair is heart and soul. Again, notice that pronunciation, heart and soul. This is one's full dedication, passion, or energy. I hope my students, you, see that I put my heart and soul into my lessons. You could say, I put my heart and soul into learning English. Do you put your heart and soul into it? If you do, put that's right in the comments. Now let's listen to some real-world examples.
I think it's partly because of the heart and soul underneath.
And he put his heart and soul into it, and eventually that's what happened.
Lucier had poured his heart and soul into that collection.
Question 3, call me when you get home so I know you're safe and... Safe and sound. This means unharmed and in good condition. You might say, despite the accident, the passengers were safe and sound. You can also use this to mean to be cautious. For example, just to be safe and sound, just to be cautious, just to be safe and sound, let's double check the figures before submitting the report. Now let's listen to some real-world examples.
If you don't want them in the story, then just keep them at home, safe and sound, and then move on to something worthy of telling.
Now all my data is safe and sound.
We keep them safe and sound.
Question 4, she enjoys the and bustle of living in New York City. The hustle and bustle. Notice that T is silent. Hustle and bustle. Hustle and bustle. This means busy, noisy, or chaotic, and we use it as a situation. You could say there was so much hustle and bustle leading up to Taylor Swift's concert. I'm sure you can imagine that. Now let's listen to some real-world examples.
Devoid of the hustle and bustle of the city, Port Aransas offers visitors a tranquil beach area where you can soak in the sunshine and let go of your worries.
So there's all this hustle and bustle going on for the big unveiling.
When you're lifted above the hustle and bustle of daily life, your sense of self fades away and you feel connected to a higher reality.
Question 5. After all that hustle and bustle, I rented a cabin in the woods for some and quiet. For some peace and quiet, peace and quiet. This represents calm, the opposite of hustle and bustle. After a busy work of traveling, she needed some peace and quiet. Or you could say, I love visiting my family, but I also miss the peace and quiet. Now let's listen to some real-world examples.
Visitors can wander the winding paths or simply relax and enjoy the peace and quiet.
If you go looking for peace and quiet, you very quickly find out there isn't any.
A lot of people come here over and over for the peace and quiet that you get out here.
How are you doing so far? Question 6. The two athletes were necking in the race. They were neck and neck, neck and neck. This means they were in a close contest with no clear leader. We commonly use this with elections. The election was neck and neck until the last votes were counted. We use this with companies competing. Our companies were neck and neck until we launched a new website. Let's listen to some real-world examples.
Originally, results showed Morales in a neck-and-neck race with his opponent Carlos Mesa.
It is neck and neck between the 7 different teams, battling it out through a really complex assault course.
Number 3, Venezuela, Honduras, neck and neck.
Question 7, you have to help your cousin. He's your and blood. He's your flesh and blood. This means related by blood or a family member. Of course, you'll always have a place to say, you're my flesh and blood. Or someone could say, a family member could say, I'm happy to loan you the money. You're my flesh and blood. Let's listen to some real-world examples.
They're made of flesh and blood the way we are. This kid, my flesh and blood, I wanted to imprint her with all of my best values and none of my bad habits.
It's because we're flesh and blood. We're biological creatures.
Question 8, sorry I missed your call. I was out and all afternoon. I was out and about, out and about. This means that you were active and going to different places outside of home. You might say after being sick for weeks, it's so nice to be out and about again. In this case, it's an adjective. You can also use this if you want to be purposely vague about where you were. So if someone asks you, where were you? You can reply back and be vague and say, oh, just out and about. In this case, it's a noun. Now let's listen to some real-world examples.
I love seeing all the animals out and about in the snow.
When I'm out and about, it's in my purse.
Anything that you've noticed out and about that you're like, didn't expect that to happen.
Question 9, he promised to take me to the airport, but then he left me high and... high and dry. This means to be left in a difficult situation without help. The company's closure left many employees high and dry. Or my car broke down and left me high and dry in the middle of nowhere. Let's listen to some real-world examples.
But after the Soviet Union fell in 1991, Cuba's economy was left high and dry.
So what do you do then if you're left high and dry? Shellfish and seaweeds, which were normally near the water, were now high and dry.
You're doing such a great job. Question 10, learning English has its and downs. It has its ups and downs. This is, of course, periods of positive, the ups, perhaps success or happiness, and periods of negative, the downs, failure and sadness. This is commonly used as comfort to someone. So perhaps your friend could let you know that they're having difficulties in their relationship, and you can say, all relationships have their ups and downs. You'll get through this. So you're using this to offer comfort. Or you could say, I'm so sorry you lost your job. Remember, the company left you high and dry. I'm so sorry you lost your job. Life has its ups and downs. Let's listen to some real-world examples.
But you talk so much about the ups and downs of your career. What made you want to make yourself so vulnerable with the audience?
You're going to have ups and downs in your career.
No matter what has happened in my career, ups and downs, I always can go back and I end up falling into a wonderful show.
Question 11, first and we need to establish trust. First and foremost. This means most importantly or before anything else. Commonly used when you're giving a speech or starting a lesson, starting a conversation, a meeting. First and foremost, we need to review the budget. First and foremost, make sure you subscribe so you're notified when I post a new lesson. Let's listen to some real-world examples.
First and foremost, stop signs are octagon, 8-sided, very prominent.
They are first and foremost a hunting dog.
I'm first and foremost committed to my responsibilities as the Senate Majority Leader right now.
Question 12. I'm the client, so it's my way or the highway. Our first pair with or, my way or the highway. This is an ultimatum, meaning you must agree to my demands or you leave. It's my way or the highway when it comes to this project. So if you're not willing to do things my way, then you're fired or you can quit, you can leave. Or you could say to your cousin, I know we're flesh and blood, but if you're living in my house, it's my way or the highway. Follow my rules or move out, leave. Let's listen to some real-world examples.
I mean, if the basic proposition is it's my way or the highway, then we're probably not going to get something done because we've got divided government.
Very simply, what I did was I said it's my way or the highway. I'm going to write the IEP. You're going to do everything my way.
We must put aside our my way or the highway pride.
Question 13. It's my wedding and I want to keep it no muss. No fuss, no muss. No fuss, no muss. This means simple and without any trouble or complications. To understand this, you need to know what a fuss means. A fuss is a show of emotion that is unnecessary or greater than the situation deserves. For example, she made a big fuss about the deadline in front of the client. But remember, this binomial pair is no fuss, no muss. Let's hope the meeting goes well with no fuss, no muss. Let's listen to some real-world examples.
No fuss, no muss, no dealing with trying to plunge anything to the bottom. It's just done.
One pan, no fuss, no muss, and everyone's gonna love it.
Monthly fees for music or movie streaming services are touted as a no fuss, no muss way to pay for content.
Question 14, the prize is yours. You won the game fair and square. This means honestly, without cheating or trickery. For example, they suspected she cheated, but it turns out she won the competition fair and square. She didn't cheat. Or she's the boss's flesh and blood, related to the boss, but she earned the promotion fair and square. She deserved it. Now let's listen to some real-world examples.
And success doesn't count unless you earn it fair and square.
He won this debate fair and square.
There's things we won fair and square.
Question 15. You won't improve your English skills overnight, but you will see improvements step, step. Step by step. This means gradually in small stages, or one stage at a time. The team worked through the problem step by step. In this case, it's an adverb. You could also say, she provided clear step-by-step instructions. Notice this comes before a noun, instructions, so it's an adjective. Now let's listen to some real-world examples.
Here are some step-by-step instructions.
It would give them a predictable, step-by-step guide for how to better their chances at a green card.
Brick by brick, inch by inch, step by step. That is how all great things are achieved.
So how many pairs did you know? Share your score in the comments, and even if you knew 0, think of everything you learned. So do you want me to make another lesson like this? If you do, put yes, 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 yes in the comments below. And of course, make sure you like this lesson, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And do you know these 15 words? Watch it and find out right now.